There's a 6G minimum every week.
Why did Paulie Walnuts spend his whole life doing crime only to end up living in a small condo?
I don't have a yard no more, Sally. I'm in a condo. Otherwise, you know, I'd have you out there with your snippers, even with your bum wing.
On the surface, it almost looks like he would have been better off with a regular job. He drives an ordinary car, lives in a modest condo, and spends his twilight years muttering about quarters to 12, as if that pep talk could change anything. For all his supposed earnings, Paulie's life looks suspiciously like that of a lower middle-class retiree who just happens to wear silk shirts. The trouble is that applying logic to the mafia lifestyle is an exercise in futility. These men live not for stability, but for the illusion of grandeur, the sense that they're part of something larger, something glamorous, even when they're shuffling home to microwaved macaroni in an aging apartment complex. Take Tony Blundetto. The man had a golden ticket out: family, business, a chance at legitimacy.
It's gotta be 10, 12 grand.
Look at this.
And still hurled it into the gutter. The second $12,000 in dirty cash landed in his lap. Instead of investing it in his business, hiring workers, or simply taking his wife and children on a weekend vacation, he did what gangsters do best: pissed it away, beat an old man senseless, and lost everything.
Cristal, gentlemen?
Keep it coming, honey.
Now on, anytime somebody steps in a pile of shit.
It wasn't about the money. It never is. It was about the high of quick cash, the thrill of defiance, and the belief that one big score is always just around the corner.
Pancake made with white cornmeal, New England special. Where you from?
Scottsdale.
Vito's ill-fated sojourn to New Hampshire hammered this point home. He found himself in paradise, peace, safety, love, pancakes, and lasted exactly one day before the siren call of easy money dragged him back to the gutter.
Maybe 5 up. Don't look. Think of those sandwiches Jim made.
For these men, the monotony of normalcy is unbearable. Honest labor feels like punishment. And yet, the financial picture is stranger than it appears.
Nah, we're gonna go with Green Grove, based on your recommendation. I never recommended.
Paulie, the supposed pauper of the crew, was writing $8,000 checks every month to keep his mother ensconced in the luxurious Green Grove retirement community.
Your only problem in life now is you give me 10 points of your take every settle-up day. There's a 6G minimum every week.
He financed his lifestyle with scores that routinely reach six figures, supplemented by a steady $6,000 a week kicked up from Christopher alone. By conservative estimates, Paulie's annual earnings after kick-ups, laundering, and even the imaginary taxes of mob math still clear six figures in today's money.
I heard cauliflower was $3.99 a pound.
He was not poor, he was frugal. A man who treated nickels like manhole covers and saw no point in McMansions or sports cars.
The Brother Joe bone.
Nah, we're gonna go with Green Grove.
Compared to Tony's ostentatious suburban palace or Silvio's slightly toned-down version down the block, Paulie's condo seems humble. But humility was the point.
Tapes the feds made at Green Grove.
Flash attracts the feds, and Paulie had no intention of painting a target on his back.
He's got no wife.
A bachelor with no children, no mortgage, and only his mother as a dependent, his expenses were minimal.
Look at the stems on Blondie. He's riding high.
His real indulgences came in suits, gambling, food, and women. Fleeting pleasures rather than permanent fixtures. He lived modestly, yes, but modesty for Paulie was both camouflage and choice.
Come on.
And he has the money for assisted living.
He's got legal bills up the ass.
So he can sell this museum and move to Green Grove.
Uncle Junior fits the same mold. Despite hoarding millions in cash, most of which was eventually devoured by legal fees, he lived in a decidedly ordinary home. He belonged to the old school, a generation that didn't need granite countertops or Olympic-sized pools to feel successful. Their fathers worked brutal jobs for pennies. To own a car, a condo, and a little stashed away was already a miracle. A McMansion was not only unnecessary, it was distasteful.
I think about my father. He never reached the heights like me, but in a lot of ways he had it better. Today, what do we got?
The contrast between old and new school mobsters is striking. Tony, Silvio, Christopher, Vito, Ralph, these men leaned into the suburban fantasy. They had families, image, and a cultural climate that demanded showmanship. But Paulie and Junior were cut from another cloth.
Hey, Gabriela says we're down here for the gabagool.
They lived in the neighborhood, ate at the same delis, and saw little point in flaunting wealth. Their satisfaction came not from real estate portfolios, but from the rituals of the life. Respect in the streets.
Bada bing. Take this number down and call me.
Strippers at the Bing, sandwiches at Satriale's, and the unearned authority to hurt others without repercussion.
He's a sick fuck. He was sniffing a fucking panty.
And therein lies the real answer to why Paulie doesn't simply get a job. He couldn't. None of them could. These are men too warped, too entitled, and, frankly, too unskilled to tolerate a world of bosses, HR departments, or 401ks. Imagine Paulie at a desk job, snapping over paper stock, screaming at coworkers, threatening HR with a chair.
Uncle Paulie, you can't say stuff like that. You have to stay positive.
The man can barely endure silence without muttering an insult. A 9-to-5 life would destroy him long before the mob ever could. The Sopranos drives this theme relentlessly. Crime doesn't pay, at least not in the way it's supposed to.
Well, how Junior was getting more and more confused, calling my husband Johnny, which was his father's name, resisting getting a haircut.
Junior spends millions in legal fees only to rot forgotten in a nursing home, memory erased. Paulie spends decades earning, yet his grand reward is solitude in a modest condo, still muttering pep talks to himself. The ultimate destination of this life is not wealth or happiness, but paranoia, emptiness, and death. Yes, they make more than the average worker.
There is other income. It's a lot more.
Unreported income?
Yes.
Yes, the money is often tax-free and sometimes extravagant, but it vanishes as quickly as it appears.
Yo, you fucking smack!
Lavished on drugs, women, dinners, or simply siphoned into endless kick-ups. At the end of the day, they are left with nothing but their delusions.
What you're asking? 25% of the sale price?
Even within their supposed windfalls, the show makes clear that the mafia's financial structure is a joke.
Fucking garbage business.
Yeah, I know. It's all changing.
Earnings are inconsistent, exaggerated, or simply ignored depending on the plot.
Got a big $87 in cash.
One week a character is flush with cash, the next, he's squabbling over crumbs. The real prize is not money, but identity.
The remote on Docking Station.
What?
These men are addicted to being mobsters, to walking into a room and knowing people fear them. That is their currency.
You have an office at Barone Sanitation.
So no, Paulie doesn't need a regular job. He already had one, technically. His no-show gig at Barone Sanitation, proudly displayed with a framed photo in the office. He was even award-winning, at least on paper, a recycling honoree for the ages. But the real work, the kind that requires submission, consistency, and humility, that was impossible.
It's like just the fucking regularness of life.
To Paulie, and to the entire crew, the regularness of everyday life was the true prison. The tragedy, and perhaps the brilliance of The Sopranos, is that it shows this plainly.
What's he, 72 years old? What's he got? Fucking shitty house in Belleville.
For all the shakedowns, the rituals, the bravado, and the bloodshed, the end result is bleak mediocrity. The mob's supposed glamour evaporates, leaving only aging men with modest condos, outdated furniture, and the hollow satisfaction of knowing they could never survive anywhere else.
Well, you went back here 30 seconds. You already got a fistful of cash, not to mention.
In the end, Paulie Gualtieri made plenty of money. He just spent his life proving how little it was worth. Crime didn't pay for Paulie. A quick subscribe would pay off for me.